Hey, Genevieve.
Hey, Adrienne.
How's it going?
Good. How about you?
Pretty good. I just took a practice quiz for the I stuff on Amboss and got a 50. So
It's all good. It'll get better. I need to take some
yeah,
practice. I need to do some practice questions, but I want to check out Texas Tech. I don't know like what else has it, but I don't have an AMPA
good
subscription.
idea.
Was it
That
like
is
you
a
have a
yeah.
subscription for it?
Yeah, I'd be happy to share my stuff with you if you
Mhm.
want. They had some yeah, they have some really good practice problems and articles.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just after the meeting, I can send that to you.
Oh, thank you so much. That'd be great.
Yeah, of course. And I went ahead and started recording just so that I wouldn't forget. So just be aware.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
No problem.
So where is it? Will this be posted somewhere? Like, why are we recording this?
Yes. So I am going to post this on YouTube and then the link's going to be uploaded onto D2L.
Okay,
But
sounds
I
good.
can I can post it on YouTube in a way that only people who have the link can access it. So
Mhm.
like out there if you're more comfortable with that.
Oh, no, I'm cool with anything. Like you can make it public for all, like that doesn't bother me.
Perfect. Okay. That sounds good to me.
Hey, Adrienne, should we wait for like a few more minutes? I think you're muted.
Yeah, that's fine. I know that one of my mentees said that she was going to try to come on and she's not on yet. So if you want to give it maybe 5 more minutes.
Yeah, we can wait. Like another 5 minutes sound good?
That sounds good with me. Yeah, that sounds good. We'll wait another 5 minutes.
Cool. Yeah, this isn't meant to take a long time, so we can take some time. And this is supposed to be fun, light, interactive, and it's not going to take too much time. So.
Perfect. Thanks.
While we wait, can we have like the two people in the call go ahead and introduce themselves if you want to, and then if more people join, we can do it once more. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a small group, so one of you want to start by introducing yourselves?
Hello, my name is Alexandria Carter.
Sorry, say that again. You're cutting out. Start over. You're cutting out. Sorry.
Hello, my name is Alexandria Carter.
Nice to meet you. You're an undergrad at AU?
Yes,
Awesome. What year are you?
I'm a senior.
Great. Awesome. So how did you hear about this program?
I've been reading emails sent from.
Sorry, couldn't hear you there.
Oh, I just read my emails, and then my advisor also introduced this topic to me.
That's awesome. Nice to meet you. And what about Ariel? Ariel, am I saying that right?
It's pronounced Ariel,
Ariel.
and yeah, my name is Ariel Figueroa Farril. Yeah, there's many ways to pronounce it. Don't worry, but yeah, I'm a junior at Augusta University, and I mainly heard about this through emails that I kept getting, and yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. We're glad you're here. And what's your major?
Biology.
Awesome. And Alexandria, what was your major? I don't think I asked.
Biology and mathematics.
Awesome. That's great. All right. So it seems like right now, like there's just the four of us. So if it's okay, if you're comfortable with it, can we turn on our camera so we can have just a casual discussion? Awesome. Thank you. Great. All right. So nice to meet you guys. And can everybody hear me okay? Is the audio quality okay? Because like for whatever we're about to do, it would be difficult if my kept
I don't
So
know
I
if
just
it's just
prepared
my
like a small
computer,
little
but you
like,
just cut out a little bit. Sorry, Johnny, I think you're chopping up a little bit.
I am. What about Ariel? Are you able to hear me?
I can hear you, but yeah, you are chopping up a little bit, yeah.
Oh man, how do I fix that? I'm on the AU secure Wi-Fi.
It's good now.
It's good now? Okay. But if so at some point I am cutting off, you can go back to everybody having their videos off because that will actually preserve some Wi-Fi bandwidth.
Sounds good.
Okay. So I know I asked you guys to turn it on, but I think I want to turn it off just to like make sure my audio is clear. Feel free to do that too. And it seems like there's a lag because like from when I finish talking, I think there's a bit of a lag till you guys finish hearing what I'm saying. But otherwise, is what I'm saying clear?
So
Yes,
far,
it's
yes.
clear.
Okay, awesome. I'm doing a screen share. Give me 1 second. Basically, the idea today is I'm just going to talk a little bit to you about learning and memory. So, you know, what part of your brain is engaged in the learning and memory process. And I'm going to try to introduce to you some new techniques to enhance your memory or make you think about memory in a different way. And maybe introduce some methods that will actually make things easier to memorize, you know, make certain facts easier to memorize. All right. Give me a second and I'm going to screen share. Let me know if you can see it. Okay, can you guys see my presentation?
I can see. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, all good? Okay, awesome. So let's just get started with what part of your brain deals with the memory, right? So there is a structure in your brain called the hippocampus, and I like to call it the ultimate seahorse because the term hippocampus, the word, is actually a literal Greek translation of seahorse. And you can see at the top right how just the hippocampus, if you took it out of your human brain, it would look like this. Now, it looks a little bit different in like other animals. I used to work a lot with rats. Their hippocampus doesn't exactly look like this. Working with humans. So there's your little seahorse, and you can see why the ancient anatomists named the hippocampus what it is, a little seahorse. And basically that little organ deep inside your brain, deep inside your temporal lobe is what's responsible for all of your memories. Everything you remember, whether it is seeing, hearing, even though these are all encoded by different parts of your brain, when it comes down to you remembering something and comes down to you recalling something, it's like, oh, I remember this, that is all encoded by your hippocampus. And the hippocampus is important for a certain type of memory called declarative or semantic memory. And what that is simply memory of facts. So facts, events, places, things, just basically, you know, events that happen in your life, facts that you learn, everything you learn and memorize in classes. These are all declarative or semantic memory. And that is what the hippocampus does a major role of storing, of, you know, making and storing those memories. And works with a lot of different parts of the brain. We're not going to get into that. You know, these four that I've listed: amygdala, basal ganglia, cerebellum, prefrontal cortex. It works with a different, you know, all over the brain to make your memory as rich as it can be. For example, is a part of your brain that deals with emotion and mainly, you know, fear-related emotions. So if you had a frightful experience on like a roller coaster or something, or, you know, some event in your life that elicited fear, you will remember that much better than a normal day in your life. You know, you will remember the scariest thing that ever happened to you because your hippocampus talks to the amygdala, and now you between that fear and the memory that is associated with it. And same thing goes with, basal ganglia, cerebellum. Together, they're involved in procedural memory. So that's what colloquially we can call muscle memory, learning how to ride a bike, and remembering how to ride a bike years later, or let's see, writing or drawing or painting or something, or maybe trying to learn a new language that has a different script from English. If you know another language that uses symbols or something like that, that kind of procedural memory is encoded by basal ganglia and cerebellum, and prefrontal cortex kind of puts it all together. It involves with, it kind of just puts everything, all components of your memory together. And lastly, I just want to emphasize there are 3 stages to forming a memory, and that's encoding, consolidating, and retrieving. So encoding is when you are receiving you right now. Your ears is the first step, right? You're listening, you're hearing what I'm saying, and that information is being. And consolidation happens a little bit after, anywhere from minutes to hours after the end of something. So once I finish up this presentation here, maybe an hour or 2 later, if you decide to look back on these slides, or if you decide to think about what I said, that is when consolidation is occurring. And retrieval is when you're able to recall what I said. You what this presentation was about, and if you're able to tell them even 1 or 2 things about this presentation, you're recalling from your memory. So I'm going to do a little activity with you guys, and I'd love it if you guys can participate. So we're going to start with a little memory exercise, okay? So I'm going to give you, isn't it going to the next slide? There we go. Oops. Okay. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds to memorize these 10 words. Okay, don't write it down yet, but just look at it and try to memorize these 10 words in the correct order. I'm going to give you 30 seconds, okay? And time starts now. Okay, that is 30 seconds. Let me see if I can. Okay, so now, does everyone have a sheet of paper near them? Sorry, I should have started this meeting by saying if you can have a sheet of paper and a pencil. So till you guys grab it, can you give me an acknowledgement that you have it?
I have it.
Was that Adrienne or
I have it.
Alexandria?
I think it was both of us.
Okay, awesome. What about you, Ariel? Do you have something to write on? Okay. All right. So try now on your sheet of paper. Try to write down as many of the words that you can remember in order, and I'll give you 30 seconds. Okay, time's up. And in the next slide, you can check yourself, okay? If one of you guys take a second to check yourself and unmute yourself and tell me how many you got right in the correct order.
I legit got 4 right, and they're in the correct order, but
Nice, nice.
I got
Anyone?
basket, house, slide, wheel, string, goat. Correct. I forgot the 2 through 5.
Okay, that's actually really good. Nice. Way to go. What about you, Adrienne?
I got 7.
7 of them in the right order? You guys are awesome, man. What am I even trying to do here? You guys already got your memory all good. All right, way to go. Okay, so now you guys sit back and relax. And I'm about to change the way you think about memory. Okay, so what I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you a story. And close your eyes if you must. Don't like look at anything else. Just close your eyes, sit back, relax, and listen. I'm just going to say the story is not going to make any sense. All right. Now, I realize that it's not going to make any sense, but trust me, and it's going to be funny. You can laugh, but just listen. All right. So I want you to imagine a guy named John. All right. John, what do you throws it at your feet? All right. So this guy named John picks up the sun and he throws the sun at your feet. And you're looking down at your feet and you're like, oh my gosh, my feet are burning. You know, they're red and they're burning because John just threw the sun at it. And then while you're looking at your feet, you notice your knees. And on your knees, you notice 10 little basketball players, little miniature little basketball players. And on their jerseys, it says the New York Knicks. So on your knees, you have these little Knicks. And you're like, okay, this is strange. And then you're kind of going up your leg and you're looking at your thighs, except your thighs aren't there. Where your thighs are supposed to be, you see Fords, like the Ford car. It can be a Ford Mustang, it can be a Ford Focus. It doesn't matter. It's a Ford car where your thighs are supposed to be. And you're already thinking like, this is really, really strange, but bear with me. And then you feel the hard surface that your bottom is sitting on, and you're sitting in a go-kart. You feel the vibration and the hard surface of your bottom sitting in a go-kart. All right. And then you're like, okay, this is all. And you start feeling hungry. All right. So your stomach is rumbling. And you're feeling hungry. And you decide to go to the nearest McDonald's. And when you get to there's Ronald McDonald with a ray gun, and he's shooting everything. Right? So there at the McDonald's, you see Ronald McDonald with a ray gun, and he's aiming that ray gun at you, and he hits you in the chest. And then you're looking at your chest, and you're like, whoa. And you see all these gray bushes of hair growing on your chest. And you're like, that's gross. You're seeing these bushes of gray hair on your chest. And what do? You're going to run home to try to shave it off because that's weird. So you're running home and you get to the mat, your front door, your doormat, and you see a little note. And you pick up the note and you read it and you are so relieved. It's like a big weight just lifted off your shoulders because in the note it says that all your bills have been paid off. Small bills, large bills, each and every bill that you owe has now been paid off. So you feel the burden lifted off your shoulders. And then you rush inside to try to shave the hair off, remember? And you're looking in the mirror. And then on your neck, you notice little hair have sprouted on your neck. Little bushes of blonde hair have now sprouted on your neck. And you're like, okay, let me first get rid of all this because this is crazy. And then you're looking in the mirror and something even more strange happens. And your mouth starts moving all on its own, okay? Your mouth is moving all on its own and it keeps saying, yes, we can, yes, we can, yes, we can. Now, as if this cannot get any stranger, you turn around from that and you see Donald Duck gouging your trumpet, okay? You see Donald Duck is about to poke your eyes out with a trumpet made of gold. And immediately you sit up in bed and you're breathing hard. And you're like, phew, thank God that was a dream. The end. Okay, so now this completely ridiculous, crazy story I just told you. And I'll tell you what the point was. The point was that all of you just learned the past 10 presidents of the United States in order. All right. So, and this is where I'm going to have you guys unmute and pitch in. So in the story that I told you, what happened to your feet? Somebody unmute and tell me.
They were on fire
Yeah, why were they on fire?
because the sun was thrown at them.
Who threw the sun?
John. Was it?
John. So, yeah, it was John. So Johnson, Lyndon B. Johnson. Okay. Then what happened to your knees? What did you see on your knees?
Basketball players, the New York Knicks.
So Nixon on your knees. All right. Then you're looking at your thighs. What was on your thighs? What did you see on your thighs?
Ford car. Make a Ford car.
Ford car. Yep. President Ford. There you go. And then what was on your bottom? What did you feel on your bottom?
A go-kart.
Exactly. So Carter. All right. And then on your stomach, what did your stomach was hungry, so you went where?
McDonald's.
McDonald. And there was
Ronald.
that McDonald's.
Ronald was there. Ronald McDonald.
Ronald, right? Ronald with Reagan. So you got Ronald Reagan.
Yes.
All right. And then you're looking at your chest. What was going on with your chest when you were shot with that ray gun?
Gray hair started growing.
There was a
Mhm.
Bush. George H.W. Bush.
So you got Bush Senior. Yep. Bush Senior. You guys see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
And what was on your shoulders? Basically, remember I said there was a weight lifted off your shoulders? Why was that?
Bills were paid.
So Bill Clinton. And then what was going on with your neck when you were looking in the mirror?
Hair started sprouting.
Yeah, so it was Bush
Oh,
Jr.
Bush
Right?
Senior.
And then what was your mouth saying in the mirror? Oh, yeah, Bush Senior, then you got Bush Jr. What was your mouth saying?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
we can.
Obama's
And who?
catchphrase.
Obama. And then finally, what happened? Donald Duck took out your eyes with a trumpet made of gold. And you've got Donald Trump. So in that story I just told you, you just learned the past 10 presidents of the United States in the past 10 presidents of the US in order before?
After Carter, I think I knew them already.
Oh, well, okay, you're an exception, all right, Ariel? So, I'm glad you knew them. But yeah, this is just a simple example of something you can do with your, trying to come up with a story when you're actually a well-studied method in learning in the field of learning and memory called the method of loci, also known as a memory palace. All right. So the method of loci is basically, I just told you a story and I placed from your feet all the way up to your eyes, I placed something of significance at each one of those regions. So then when I'm asking you to recall and you can look down at your feet and you're now following a logical, not logical, but at least in order. And now you're able to remember what each part of your body and what it stood for. So, all right. So before we get to the next thing, I want to show you another example. So in medical school, I'll go to that. The resource called Sketchy. All right. Adrienne knows this, and I just want to introduce the concept to you guys. Sketchy is a resource that uses this exact method of loci, and basically it paints a picture and it tells a story. And while it's telling that story, you're able to remember a lot more than you would simply sitting in a lecture or simply reading a textbook. So to illustrate that, the next slide is going to have a series of questions about leptospirosis. Now here, I think I might catch you off guard here, Ariel. Do you know what leptospirosis is?
No.
Okay, yes. All right, I got you. Okay, so in that case, so leptospirosis, I'll just say, is a bacteria, all right? And there are now these 5 questions. To these 5 questions, and I want you to take a time, take the time to read these 5 questions, okay? Or I'll read them out. So leptospirosis world. Anybody know the answer? Adrienne, you can't answer. And then, how is leptospirosis transmitted to humans? What are some symptoms of leptospirosis infection? What is a severe form of leptospirosis infection called? And what 2 organs in the body does leptospirosis affect? All right, so this seems like a lot of information, right? And it's a lot to learn. Now, on the next slide, I'm going to show you a very simple 4-minute video. And for a 4-minute video that was made by Sketchy, and it uses this method of loci, method to trying to help you remember and learn all these facts in a fun way in just 4 minutes. Okay, are you guys ready? All right, so I'm going to play this video and just watch this video. Don't take any notes. Simply watch this video. It's only 4 minutes. Can you guys hear it when I played it? Hello?
I don't
Is it
hear
playing?
anything on my end.
Is it playing? Because if it's playing, I don't hear it.
Can you guys put in the chat box whether you were able to hear the video when I played it briefly? Oh, you can't hear. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Let me stop sharing and then share. Oh, include computer sound. There we go. Now it should work. Okay, now I'm going to play it and then just give me a thumbs up or something in the chat if you can.
The cause of leptospirosis. This scene is going to be centered around a surfer in the tropics, and we're going to call it the surfer's oasis. One of the reasons we chose this scene is because leptospirosis is endemic in tropical regions. In fact, in the US, the highest incidence is reported to be in Hawaii. And as far as I'm concerned, only 2 other things happen in Hawaii: surfing and the filming of Lost. Leptospira is a spirochete, so it's small and thin, sometimes described as question mark shaped. So we'll include both. We'll have this spiral-shaped surfer's leash, and we'll draw a question mark on the surfboard. So leptospira is commonly found in animals like rodents and dogs, and it's excreted in their urine. And it's usually contaminated water. And it's commonly associated with water sports, which is the second reason why we drew a surfing scene. So to remember that leptospira is found in animal urine and that gets into the water that we swim in, we're going to change up the scene. This nice clean blue wave, we'll have him riding in on the yellow tide, a yellow tide full of animal urine. Hopefully you won't forget that association. All right, let's move on to the symptoms of leptospirosis. One of the earliest manifestations are flu-like symptoms with fever and intense headaches. We'll make our surfer dripping wet as if he's been sweating profusely to help you remember that fevers occur in early leptospirosis. Another common finding in early infection is conjunctival suffusion. This is different from regular conjunctivitis, in that even though there's diffuse reddening of the eyes, there is a lack of inflammatory exudate. So in other words, it's just red without the pus. and it's pretty highly suggestive of leptospirosis. So to help you remember the symptom, we're going to give our surfer some rose-colored sunglasses. Redness around the eyes. We'll also make our surfer rubbing his eyes as if he just got water in them and it's painful, and this should really hammer it in. So we've already briefly mentioned that the systemic leptospira infection is referred to as leptospirosis, but in its most severe form, it's also known as Weil's disease, spelled W-E-I-L-S. We're going to change up the disease name a little bit to make it more applicable to our scene. We'll keep the name Weil's disease, but we'll change the spelling to W-H-A-L-E''S, like the animal. And we'll draw this majestic, breaching, so you can keep the disease name in mind. Leptospira travels through the bloodstream and is able to multiply in various organs. Though it can affect many different organs, we'll go over the two most important, which are renal dysfunction and jaundice from liver damage. So to help you remember that leptospira travels through the bloodstream and then seeds multiple organs, we're going to draw these inner tubes here that look like red blood cells. And they're kind of getting thrown all over the place by this Weil, just like leptospira is able to go all over the body. Now let's get to the two most important organs it affects. First is the kidney. So if a patient presents with fever and then also has high creatinine levels and azotemia, the first thing you're going to think about is not going to be leptospira. The history is really important. If it's a somewhat young person who engages in water sports in the tropics, then you can start thinking about leptospira. But in any case, we're going to have to represent that leptospira can cause kidney dysfunction. And the way we're going to do this is draw a big rubber dinghy that's shaped like a kidney, and it's being launched into the air by our Weil. And yep, those blue and red straps are the renal vein and artery. It's pretty cool. Next, you need to remember that Weil's disease can lead to liver dysfunction and jaundice. We're going to change the gray suit of our surfer into a yellow one, as if he's jaundiced. And that should be good enough. And that's it for leptospira, a really quick one. But it is a bacteria that ruins my second and third favorite things, dogs and tropical vacations. My number one favorite activity is ruined by the next spirochete we're going to cover, Treponema pallidum.
Okay, so awesome. You guys just saw a quick video on leptospirosis.
In this video,
Okay, and now let's see how much you guys remember. I'm going to ask you the same 5 questions, all right? So just unmute yourself and answer. Leptospirosis is endemic to what parts of the world?
Tropical regions, and in the United States, most commonly known in Hawaii.
Yep, way to go. Awesome.
What she said.
Excellent. Next question. How is sorry, what?
What she said, yeah.
Oh, awesome. Great. Ariel, do you want to take a stab at this one? How is leptospirosis
Not sure I remember.
All right, anyone else?
From animal urine, dogs.
Exactly. He colored it yellow, so that's to help you remember that it's urine of rodents, cats, dogs. And what are some symptoms of leptospirosis infection?
Jaundice, kidney dysfunction, flu-like symptoms.
Fever.
Awesome, way to go. What about the guy's goggles, right? He had these little pink goggles. So yep, fever, conjunctival suffusion, and then you mentioned, yeah, way to go. Jaundice, that's a good one. So that brings me to question, but what is a severe form of leptospirosis infection called? What was the other animal in the sketch?
Will?
Whale. Exactly. I muted myself. But yeah, it's called Weil's disease. Awesome. And last question, what 2 organs in the body does leptospirosis affect? And Alexandra, you kind of hinted at this one, but just tell me what 2 organs.
Liver and kidney.
Exactly. See, you guys didn't know the answer to any of these 5 minutes ago. And then you saw a 4-minute video, and now you're able to answer these 5 key facts about leptospirosis. So this was what I was trying to illustrate with using method of loci or memory palace to try to remember things. If you're reading a series of facts, or if you're trying to memorize an order of something, or a story, try to tell yourself a story and then you'll remember it, teach it to someone else and then you'll remember it. So, and I just want to emphasize another resource that, and that's Anki. I am in no way affiliated with Anki. I am not an endorser, blah, blah, blah. I just like using it. And I'm not sure if you guys have heard of Quizlet. So these are 2 very popular and free flashcard apps that are out there for you. And I just wanted to emphasize Anki because of its spaced repetition software. So we all know that one of the best ways to remember something is to see it over and over and over and over, right? Repetition is key. I'm sure you guys have heard that in all these years of schooling. Why do teachers say things a million times? Why are you tested on the same concept a million times? It's because repetition will help you remember it long term. And what Anki does is it does exactly that, spaced repetition. So when it asks you a question and then you repeat the program, whether you remembered it or whether you didn't remember it, and based on what feedback you give it, it'll decide when to give you the card again. So if I asked you a question and then you knew the answer, you can give it a score of 1, for example, and that means it won't give you that card again until tomorrow. Now, if you put, I don't remember, or it was hard for me to remember, it will give you the card again in the next 3 to 6 minutes. So when you're doing Anki, when you sit down and you do an Anki for an hour and you have like 50 cards to memorize, it'll go by a lot faster. And then at the end of the hour, you will have memorized all 50 facts because you are telling it, oh, I don't remember, so give it to me soon. That card away, and then it will give it to you tomorrow when you do another set of Anki. Does that make sense? So this is just another software to use. And even if you don't use Anki, you can incorporate this into your daily life. If you're trying to remember something, look at it more frequently and more often. Okay, and then now we get to briefly our mindfulness and grounding part of this talk. So what is your, someone can just unmute and tell me, what is your understanding of mindfulness? What does that even mean? Any idea? No?
I guess to be aware of everything that you're thinking.
So mindfulness just means being present. Yeah, exactly, Ariel. Yeah, being aware, aware and present of everything that you're thinking and that you're seeing, smelling. So just being present, it's very easy for all of us as students to get caught up in classes and extracurriculars and homework and all of this or your phone or social media for that matter. And it's before you know it, you would have gotten up in the morning, you have a very busy day, and before you know it, the sun has set and your day is over. And then you try to think back, and it's sometimes you just have such a busy day that you don't even remember what went on because your mind wasn't there. It wasn't even there. You weren't present for most of the things that were happening. It's called going through the motions of life. What we do on a daily basis is we go through the motions of life. Get up, brush your teeth, shower, go to school, eat, come home, do your homework, go to sleep. These are simply motions. But what you felt during those moments, to be able to remember that, to be able to truly appreciate it, you need mindfulness. And when you are mindful, you actually open up your mind to take in more information, to learn more, to remember more, because now you're clearing up this fog of going through the motions in your life. So there's this very, very simple activity that I call 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it literally just takes 5 seconds to do. And if you can do it multiple times a day, whenever you're feeling overwhelmed, then so all 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 means is 5 things you can see. So let's see, Ariel, can you tell me 5 things you can see right now?
And like just 5 random things I can see.
Yeah. 5 random things that you're able to see right now.
I mean, screen, my
Mhm.
computer, letters,
Okay.
my phone right now, and I guess my TV in front of me too.
Awesome. All right, now let's see, Alexandria, can you tell me 4 things that you can touch right now?
Lotion, a lamp, a clock, a cell phone. Okay, I think that was 4.
Oh, sorry, I heard 2, but what were you for again?
Lotion, lamp, clock, and my cell phone.
Awesome, perfect. And let's see, now next, Adrienne, can you tell me 3 things you can hear right now?
I can hear my laptop fan, the cars out, and my friend laughing.
Awesome, wonderful.
Can you hear me?
And because I have my teams minimized, did more people join the call, Adrienne? Because I can't see them since I have my teams window minimized.
I think it's still us 4.
Okay, no problem. All right, so then 2 things you can smell. So I guess I'll do that one. 2 things I can smell. Well, I just ordered a pizza because I'm going to be camping out on campus studying, so I can smell the pizza, and I can smell my hand lotion. All right, and finally, one thing you can taste. So any one of you, if you recently had something to eat, that taste might be lingering in your tongue. Does that apply to anyone? What's one thing you can taste?
The chicken and vegetables I just had.
Nice, perfect. So what you just did, if you can do this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to yourself, every day when you're feeling overwhelmed, that is you practicing mindfulness, and that's you grounding yourself to the present. And it's just like you can see, touch, hear, smell, and taste in that moment. It's not the past. It's not what you had for breakfast. It's not what you're going to do. It's just these things that are happening at the second that you're doing this activity. All right, so it's just a summary. I'm just gonna the take home points is that 1, utilize innovative memory techniques like the one I showed, or watching a video, or kind of, if you're a visual learner, create your own story. And another one is give yourself breaks when you're studying, and the average is 10 minutes every hour. All right, so if you're going to sit down and if you're going to study really hard for an hour, study for 50 minutes and then take a 10-minute break and then study for 15 minutes. Trying to push yourself to do any more than that, it's not going to be productive after that. So 10-minute break every hour. And then practice mindfulness like we just did, being present and aware. And there are many. Just presented one of them. You guys can always reach out to me or do a quick Google search about like other mindfulness activities. But the easiest one to remember is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then exercising regularly. So it doesn't have to be, you're not training for the Olympics. It doesn't rigorous, but just doing 30 minutes of walking a day, or some, get your like little 5-pound dumbbells. It can be just very light and doing a little bit of strength training. So contrary to popular belief, one or the other alone isn't going to help you. Cardio and some strength training. So whether that be walking or jogging for cardio, and then squatting, push-ups, wall sits, curls, any of that for some strength training. All right. And then eating healthy snacks. So that's very important. There's nothing wrong with snacking. The only problem is avoid heavily processed carbs. And me personally, bagels are my biggest pet peeve. I despise them because it is the most highly processed food that Americans consume. And I would avoid bagels at all costs if you can, and then eat more fruits and nuts, if that, and then granola, oats, all these things are great. And then sleep, which is, I know everybody tells us about sleep, and as students, it's very hard, but a minimum of 6 hours, because you go through several phases of sleep. I think there are, off the top of my head, I can't remember, there's probably 3 or 4 phases of sleep. And each one takes you about 90 minutes to 2 hours to complete each phase. So let's just say it takes 2 hours per phase to complete, right? And if there are 3 phases, that's a minimum of 6 hours for you to complete your sleep cycle. If you're giving your body any less than that, then you are depriving yourself of one of the phases of sleep. You're cutting yourself short, and you're only harming yourself by doing that, because, for example, REM sleep, the last stage that you reach, you will never have complete REM sleep if you're giving yourself less than 6 hours. So that is just what I want you guys to remember and take away from this. And if you guys have any questions, you can ask now, and I'll put my email in the chat box. But I also appreciate any feedback, and thank you guys so much for being here. Did you guys enjoy this?
Genevieve, why weren't
Yes.
we
Yes.
talking to each other before med school started? Because I feel like this would have helped me way more than this was incredibly helpful. Thank you so much.
Oh, sorry, Adrienne, you were breaking up a little bit, but I think I got the gist of what you were saying. I'm glad this was helpful. Thank you. Ariel, you were saying something?
This is very helpful, and very interesting techniques and stuff like that. Stuff that I will try in the near future, sometime soon.
Awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. Good luck. And you can always reach out to Adrienne or myself or your other mentors in this program. But yeah, I'm so glad. All right. Well,
Yes,
that's all I have
Genevieve
for
is a
you.
mentor. Oh, sorry.
Mhm.
Genevieve is
Yeah.
a mentor. So if you have any questions, I know that she'd be more than happy to reach out. This has been recorded. It's going to be put on YouTube and on the D2L site, and I'll be sending more details about how to access D2L later. Ariel, since you guys attended this live, if you wouldn't mind sending me an email, I have something that I want to offer to you guys kind of offline. But yeah, that's all that I have. Genevieve, do you have anything else for us?
No, that's it. That wraps it up. And thank you guys for being here. I had fun doing this, and I All right. Can I end the call now, Adrienne?
Yep,
Sorry,
I'll go ahead
you were
and end.
cutting. Okay.
I'll go ahead and end it. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.